Hey everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here with Painted Studio. Welcome back. Happy New Year. We are working on our next layer on the sofa table. So as you can see, I'm in sort of an odd corner here. This is not where I normally would put this to be working on, but it's a little dark in my studio today, and this corner has the best lighting, so I thought I'd leave this here and we'd work on it over here for the sake of convenience and lighting and everything else. When I flip it back over, it'll go back over into my other work area where I have a little more room to work around everything, and we can do that. But I need to turn it upside down to paint the underside, so it's easier for me to have it upside down on a higher table, on another higher surface. It's easier on my body. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to set this out of the way. I'm going to open up my Facebook page here and close that window out because I don't need that. Now give me just a second to get over here. I'm better. Yay, I actually am remembering to turn my volume down today. Woo! Okay, so we have got all of that set up there. I'm just going to kind of leave my iPad here, so hopefully I might be able to see any questions or comments. If I can get it propped up. It's a miracle. And by the way, my stool is actually breaking because these stools don't like to roll around on fabric or on carpeting. The drag is on there, so my weight shifts and it cracks the plate under here. So you could have an extremely entertaining moment of me falling flat on my butt here while I'm on a live. I'm trying to avoid it. I also have a brand new stool, but I refuse to put it together until this one literally falls apart from underneath me. All right, so we are going to use today Set Coat, Faux Effects Set Coat Dark Brown, because I'm going to be going over this in metallics. So I'm changing my undertone. The gray will make this very easy for me to put the dark color on and not have to fight against white. And then the brown is going to create a beautiful base for my deep colored metallics. Sorry for the crunching. It is, I have parchment paper under here. Normally I have silicone paper, but because I knew I was putting the table on here, I stapled the silicone paper down, and sometimes the staples can hit the table, scratch the surface. I didn't want that to happen, so I just went with parchment paper today that I shoved under here. And so that might make a little bit of a rattly noise. Now, again, I'm putting a coat of this on here. Faux Effects Set Coat is a beautiful, beautiful product to work with. Now, black is super opaque. Some of the other darker colors, let me give this a little stir because I haven't used it in a while, can be just a tad bit sheerer. So I might need a second coat of this, because I do want a good opaque coating to go under my metallics. This is the color that might read through a little bit, or will read through a little bit. So I want my color nice and smooth. And I can already see that I have a little sheerness that I'm going to be working with. So that's not a problem. Set Coat is stunning. It has terrific self-leveling properties. And there's a little piece of something on there. I'll have to sand that out and fix that. Sometimes, you know, something drips, something catches, and you don't even see it until you're painting your next layer, so that's not a problem to me. I have a little chunk of something right there. When this dries, I will apply a little sandpaper to it, clean it up, and then I will get in that corner. Then I'll put another coat of color over it. All right, so you see I'm kind of tapping into my corners here and pulling out. Set Coat has a nice little bit of work time on it. It doesn't dry quite so fast as some of the other water-based paints that I've worked with do. So I have a little time to go back in, clean up any messy spots I might have, and let it self-level. This product is designed to have a finish like oil paint, which is much smoother than standard acrylic and latex style paints. So hand brushing, I can get a finish that is surprisingly smooth. I've had people come in after I just applied the set coat to the surface and had them say, you brushed that on? Now, mind you, I've got a lot of history of brushing on paint behind me. Now, I'm not really worrying about these cross pieces. They won't be seen. I didn't bother to prime them, but since I'm sitting here looking at them, I'll put a little paint on them. And I always find it's easier to paint the bottom and then flip it over and paint the top again than go the other way around. Why is that? It's because if I've got fresh paint on the top here, it's more likely to scratch when I turn it over. So I like to wait and do everything as upside down as I can do it, flip it over, and do it the other, then I can do the other sides. It is a personal thing. I know other people would rather sit down on the floor and go underneath a piece of something. Frankly, my body doesn't bend that way anymore. The arthritis does not let me do those kinds of things. It's not a pretty picture if I start getting under things without a little support. So I don't do that if I can avoid it. Now, as you can see here, I'm not going to be able to rotate this table completely, totally, and easily as we're doing this. Why? Because my bookcase and the wall is going to be in the way. If you fall, excuse my laughter, I laugh at things like that. Dolly, that's sort of why I haven't changed the stool out. I don't get upset when stuff like this happens to me. I actually find it really, really funny. So my sweater wants to pull up today. It's just one of those days. So yeah, my shirt underneath is gonna flash you. No, it is funny. If I fall, the last time I broke one of these, I was alone and I sat down on it and sat back like this and it shot out from under me. I laughed so hard and all I could think of is, damn, everybody missed that. That would have been so funny if people had seen it. But they didn't, and so who knows, maybe you'll see it on here that's loose. That may need a little tightening later. I don't want to do it while I'm painting because it's wet. I'll have to get in there, figure out what it's loose from. Sorry folks, I'm gonna keep tugging my sweater down. Maybe if I tuck it in, it'll stay tucked in with my shirt. Now, some of you may notice I'm painting areas that I don't really see. And I'll shift things around so I can see it a little bit better. But again, I've been painting furniture a really long time. So sometimes I can paint things without necessarily seeing all of it. I get a feel, I can actually feel when I'm brushing where there's paint and where there's not. Now, that doesn't stop me from having a dribble in those spots, because that can happen. If I can't see it, I don't know there's a dribble there. But I'm not going to worry about that today. I have plenty of other stuff to keep myself busy, besides worrying if I got a dribble. I have dribbles. I'm like everybody else. Dribbles happen. You learn to clean them up and work around them. Now, when I do the second coat on this part, I will inevitably pretty much just do the legs, and then I will flip it over so that I can catch any details that I've missed, because I will miss stuff. It's guaranteed. It's just part of the deal, especially when you're doing multiple sides of something. Now let's see if I can spin this a little bit. Parchment paper is wanting to slide. All right, let's get the rest of this. I am flipping paint everywhere today. I don't know what's going on. Normally I'm not, I'll get it all over myself, that's a given, but normally it's not flying off of my brush. Okay, let's get this part. I'm sorry my back is to you, but to get the furniture facing you so you can see what I'm doing, those of you who've ever done lives know this is kind of what happens, especially when you're only working one camera. My goal is to have you seeing the furniture, so if you're seeing the back of me, it's not my best side. I know I look like a little toad sitting here on my little stool, but better to have you see what I'm doing. And again, I'm just, any place that I hit with primer, that's what I'm going over with set coat, even on the inside right now. All right, let's see how much I can move this. This is my guessing game today. Okay, so here's my stop spot because I'm hitting my table. Whoops, and I just knocked the drawers over that are right behind me. Let me take a look at my screen so I can see just what you're seeing. That's not bad. Seems like we froze a little. There we go. Okay, so I'm sorry for when I block things off. Let me get over this way so you can see. Again, these new studio, new angles. The old studio, I knew where to place everything. New one, especially since my office area is a little smaller, even though my warehouse is bigger by quite a lot. I have to figure out all the new angles and everything, and it takes me a little time. Okay, get in there. Okay, I can see the spot that I did not get on the inside here. And as you can see, I'm not taking, this is something I want to emphasize. When you do your brush strokes on anything, make your strokes as long as you can. You get a better layout and a better spread on your paint. Don't dab it if you can avoid it. The only time I dab is when I have to get in small spots or awkward spots, and then I come back and smooth it over, like I was just doing in this corner. This is my dabbing kind of spot, is when I get in here and I have this little seam and I got a corner, but then I come back in and I smooth it out so that my brush strokes are nice and smooth. Because in the end, all layers show. So the better you lay it out from the beginning, the better your final finish is going to be. And by the time we're done with this, it's not going to be brown. We're going to use our Roberson's metallics on here and do some blending and then some hand painting. I was thinking how lovely this would be in shades of bronze and metallic Victorian gold, which is very green gold, soft blended in oh, I just put paint on my face. I just put paint on my eye. But I thought it would, and then we could paint some butterflies and some flowers and some greens coming up the legs, and even on the corners of the tabletops do some blooms and stuff. And I thought that would be awfully pretty. So let me take a quick peek here. Hi, Rebecca and Angela and Karen and Veronica and Dolly, of course, because I've already entertained Dolly with the idea of falling off the stool in front of you all. And what you can't see is what I can feel. I lean back like this and I can feel it break just a little more each time. So yeah, eventually this sucker is going to fall out right from underneath me. Go in here. And not everybody turns their pieces upside down and completely paints the bottom. I tend to do that because I don't want the piece to look unfinished on the bottom. Now, this is a personal preference. I don't have to go all the way back in here and do it, but when the drawers are in and stuff like that, I want everything to look finished so that if, you know, somebody crawls underneath it to plug in a lamp or something, the table looks finished all the way around. And so it also gives me a chance to seal up stuff so that I don't have any funny things bleeding through. And I'd rather overpaint a little than underpaint. And by overpainting means putting a little more paint on the surface than not putting enough, because that's how you end up having skipped spots. And I don't want to do that either. All right, we're challenging my stool right now. I'm rolling on the rug. All right, let me move this screen back here because it's in my way. And again, I apologize. This is a really crappy angle to be doing this, but it is the best I've got for today. And I'm learning that I probably will not do this angle again. So let me see if I can roll over here. Oh, it's caught on something. Oh, this is fun. Sorry, you got my whole backside in there. Let me come back over here. Oh. I'm sitting down carefully because I am afraid that it will shoot out from under me as I even sit down. All right, so I'm coming back in. I'm getting the spots that I missed. All right. And again, this is my first layer. So my second layer will even everything out, and then we'll be ready for the metallics. Now, Roberson's metallics are very opaque. And if I was doing this table in silvers and grays, I would not necessarily be bothering to change the undercolor. I might still put a coat of set coat clear or set coat gray on here just because it levels everything so beautifully. And I love painting on it as opposed to painting metallics directly over straight primer, which I have done and it works fine. That's not the problem. I just love the surface that set coat gives me even as an under color for stuff. I've used set coat, oh God, 20 plus years now. Faux-Effects has been around for quite a while, and it is truly one of my go-to products. If you could see my shelves over there of open stock that I use for all my projects, it's all set coat for base colors. It's durable, it levels, it has this beautiful oil-based paint finish for 100% acrylic. I cannot say enough good things about the product because I know how well it works. And I used to do a lot of walls. You know, if you don't know me as a furniture finisher, you might know me as a wall finisher, an instructor. And literally until the body said, no, you're not doing that anymore. I spent almost 30 years on ladders and scaffolds, and I know some of you are still doing that. God bless you. I miss doing it. I miss having big projects like that to do. I loved doing it. But Set Coat really has been, for all those years, my go-to base paint. The only other thing that I've ever found that's close to as good is Benjamin Moore Aura in eggshell finish. Again, 100% acrylic, dries faster than Set Coat, so you have to work a little faster with it. Oops, my brush is hitting the wall. Never done that before, oh no. Let me see, okay. So I got this whole thing, it's all right, I gotta go back in here, so I'm sorry, you're gonna see my butt for a minute. I gotta get back in here. I will not stop until I have the entire thing coated. We are also going to be bringing in, oh, I know this is just the view you all want. Sorry. Sorry, everybody, I just had to get in there. I know that was not my best view. It's probably going to end up on some strange website for people who like to see big butts while painting. So I will paint these, the drawer fronts. Now, I had a little interesting experience. I told you all that these are made by Bombay Company, and most of this is particle board. So I filled everything, primed it, and then one of the drawer fronts fell off because that's how cheap the construction is on some of these pieces, like from Bombay Company. So literally, I had to find the little tack holes, line everything up, but that's after I put some good heavy wood glue on here and clamped it for a couple days. So understand that when you're working with stuff, it could fall apart on you. So you have to be prepared to repair something even on the fly, even when you think it's ready to go. So that is my warning of the day. I'm going to say goodbye. We've had a great time together. I really appreciate you all being here. I certainly appreciate you watching my big butt while I paint, because that was not my intention. I thought I had this set up so that you could see more of the piece and less of me, but obviously that was wrong. So the next time we're working, we will be over in a better workspace so that I am behind things, I'm next to them, but you're not getting completely just the back view of me. So I appreciate your patience today. New year, new location, new camera angles. I'm still learning. And if this entertained you, I hope you get a good chuckle out of my ridiculousness today. And I'll catch up with you as soon as I'm ready for the next step. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.